Hi, I'm Gerard Brown, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about making accordion books the way we do in the Foundations program at Tyler. First, you need to get your materials together. They're listed here. Papers, boards, cutting tools, folding tools, and straight edges. But before we spend too much time talking about how to do this, let's talk about why. An accordion book is a really interesting design solution. It works like a normal book, but then it unfolds into a long panorama. So you have to come up with a solution for both the page spread and for that long view. It's a unique structure somewhere between a codex and a scroll. First, we're going to make the text block by folding down a piece of our usual sketchbook paper. It's Mohawk superfine text. And what we're going to do is fold it in half on the long axis and then break that down into quarters. So we have 4 signatures that I'm going to show you how to join in just a minute. So neatly fold that. And you can split the seam with a bone folder. And then fold it over again and split that seam. If you fold it on the long axis, the proportions of your book will be a little bit different. Now I've got 4 identical strips. And I want to get those ready to join. So if your cutting mat has a grid on it, this makes it very easy. What you're going to do is make a tab on each one of these signatures to join to the next one. So make a half-inch tab and score that for folding. Great. Then fold from the left over to where you've just scored. Bring that edge right up to the score line. Okay? Flatten that out, and the paper's folded in half with a little tab on the right. If you flip it over and back fold, you make your life a little bit easier later. So then bring the paper over from the right to the left, fold in half, and from the left over to the tab. Okay? And then you have a signature for the accordion book. So you can repeat that as many times as you need to for your solution. But one of the things we want you to do is join those signatures together and show that you've got even measurements and good control of the material. So apply some Sobo glue to that half-inch tab. And join it to the untabbed section of the next signature. Okay, don't use too much glue because this glue is kind of wet and will cause the paper to buckle. So you want to be economical about that. Smooth it out. And unfold it. You want to make sure that you've got the right rhythm of back and forth and back and forth and the page spreads. So now we're going to wrap the covers after we've joined all our signatures. You're going to cut some chipboard about a 1/4 inch larger than the text block and a piece of decorative paper a couple of inches larger than that, and center this chipboard on that decorative paper. Take a couple of pieces of scrap chipboard, two little pieces, That will give you the proper distance to cut the miter on that decorative paper. Okay, so I'm just marking that. So then I'm going to take off this corner so it wraps nice and flat. Go ahead and glue up the face of the chipboard. And center it on your decorative paper. There should be a small margin, twice the thickness of the chipboard, at each corner. Score it so the paper knows that it wants to wrap around that chipboard. And I always do the long sides first. Just glue up those flaps. And I tend to do both long sides and then both short sides. Fold them over. And then what I'm doing here is making little hospital corners so that the top flaps fold nice and flat. Okay, so think of it like when you make a bed, how you tuck the sheets in at the bottom so that they're not bunched up. Go ahead and glue up the short sides. You want to be careful when you're working to have a glue area and a clean area so you don't mess up your book covers. Because part of what we look for here is control of the media. So now we're going to attach our text block to the covers. You want to make sure it's going straight up and down, not drifting off to the left or right. This is something we look for. Make a couple of marks that center the text block 1/8 inch in. So you have an 1/8 inch all around because your text block is a 1/4 inch smaller than your cover. Go ahead and cut the last page of the signature in half, and here I'm gluing that wide flap up using my earlier drawn tick marks as a way of aligning it to the book cover and smoothing that out. You can see that the bone folder is used to make sure that you get a good seal. The chipboard's starting to curl a little bit, so I'm going to want to put this under weight before I'm done. Go ahead and do the other side. You should have your book. A couple of finishing touches you need to attend to. Those inside covers look kind of cruddy, so we're going to line the book with a contrasting inside cover paper. This is cut to the same height as the signature, and then I'm custom cutting it so that it fits about 1/8 of an inch in from the cover on the outside of the book. Okay? So I've just glued that up, and I'm carefully laying that in. Finish one side and do the other. Smooth that out, and you're done. The book should be under weight for a little while, but now you're done. Thanks a lot.